Valentine's Day.
Are you copying?
No.
Oh. I was like, are we starting?
Maybe I was. Taryne.
What?
It's Valentine's Day.
I know.
It's your favorite holiday.
One of, but yes.
Well, no, you don't get
What?
multiple favorites.
Yes, you can. Who
No,
says
no, no.
you can't?
Well, if you have multiple, it's not a favorite.
That's a lie.
Well, then why call it your favorite if you have multiple?
Because I have favorite holidays.
Well, everyone has holidays they like more, but you have a favorite holiday.
Ashley, you can't tell me what to do.
You can't claim every holiday to be your favorite.
Okay, well then you say I'm your best friend, so you need to make a bold statement that no one else is your best friend right now.
Oh, no.
Did I just prove you?
Oh, no.
Did I just make a point?
Well done. Well
Science. No, lawyer.
Taryne, 1. Ashley, 0.
But happy Valentine's Day.
Hello, everyone. We are sponsored by Factor. Winter is supposed to be hibernation time, and I won't deny I'm staying in more than usual, but that doesn't mean I'm not busy or that I want to spend all my time in the kitchen. Luckily, I don't have to meal plan or prep, and I can still eat well now that I leave my meals to Factor. Factor makes it easy for me to eat clean 24/7 with fresh, never frozen prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't believe they're actually good for you. Factor saves me time by delivering chef-crafted meals to my doorstep, eliminating the hassle of grocery shopping and meal prep, not to mention cleanup. That's right, guys, no dishes to wash here. And I tend to get picky with food, and I'm obsessed with Factor because they have more than 29 meal options every single week, so I'm never bored, and they offer vegan, veggie meals, keto meals, low-calorie options, cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, plant-based bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me fueled and focused all day long. Head to go.factor75.com/advice120 and use code advice120 to get $120 off. That's code advice120 at go.factor75.com/advice120 for $120 off.
Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. If you are hiring, you need Indeed because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applicants that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't have to pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Not only do they help you with every step of the hiring process, but also with Instant Match. As soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description. One of the things I love the most about Indeed is that they have more than 3 million businesses, so literally the sky's the limit. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/advice. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/advice to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/advice. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Happy Valentine's Day. We hope you're having the best day. We love love.
Yeah.
We love showing love to those that we love. And more importantly, we love chocolate.
I don't think people understand how much we love chocolate.
I don't think people fully get it either. I am the queen of after every meal, I need something sweet.
Yeah, you do.
And even when it came to like my strictest diet plans, I always included some kind of chocolate before bed because I need it. It's not a need. It's a like deep desire for.
It like after we'll like eat or something and we'll be sitting on the couch watching a movie or something and Ash will like get up and disappear and you'll just hear like rummaging and then she'll come back and just hand you it's Dove dark chocolate, the little like
every
it's
day.
just like a bite size.
It's the perfect size.
And she'll hand me one, hand Alicia one, and sit down. Like no words exchanged.
One for each of them, two for
it's
me.
Just known. Yeah, exactly.
Also, this is a fun fact from a professional chocolate tier. Freeze them. Put them in the freezer, then pop it in your mouth, and it takes a little bit longer to melt, and you get to enjoy it longer, and it's great.
Which is interesting because don't you not like cold?
Yeah, but it doesn't get that cold.
Okay.
It's just chocolate. It's not like it's ice.
Cool.
Ice is different.
Well, guys, It's Valentine's Day officially. I love, it doesn't happen often, but when our episodes fall on like
a holiday.
Yeah. And yeah, like, okay, so
we're like, do we redo the cover art? Do we have a different intro?
How hard do we go? I almost wore my heart glasses, but I was like, Ashley will not appreciate it.
I mean, I wouldn't have stopped you.
You're not a cheesy person. I'm a cheesy person.
Taryne's absolutely. You're very much a cheesy person.
I love the cheese. Like, life's too short to like take things too serious.
For sure.
Like, I love the cheese. Also, I've loved Valentine's Day since before I can remember, which we've said before on the show. Like, I think people think it's odd because I've been single for pretty much all of them. So, but I have a theory of why I love it so much and why everyone else is viewing Valentine's Day wrong. And I did ask questions on my Instagram, and I feel like it proved my theory. So I'm
perfect.
Riding high today. Also, should we like give a shout out to our Instagram since I just casually mentioned
guys,
it?
if you don't follow us on our Instagram, shameless self-promo, we have a Instagram where you can chat with us about all of the things that we talk about on this podcast. So if you like the subjects plural that we discuss here on the pod, definitely give us a follow on Instagram because we continue those conversations there. Also, it's like a way for us to actually interact with you, whereas this is very much like us talking at you. You know, so if you want more of Ash and Taryne, then just check out the Instagram.
But also, like, I will say, like, I brag about our podcast, like, community all the time because I think it's our podcast, like, we're nothing without you guys. And I think on the Instagram, like, it's just another extension of like ways to interact. Like,
absolutely.
We talk about insecurities on the podcast. There's like an insecurities post on the Instagram that you guys can share insecurities or read other people's and encourage them. So that's been our goal the whole time, is like, we really want to like facilitate just people, like a positive place for people to be like open. Yeah. Okay. I think that what makes Valentine's Day so special is people going out of their way to physically, tangibly show you that they love you. Now, where I think we have misconstrued it is that we only assume that it's romantic love. But I think that like if we really just see Valentine's Day as a way to just really just like take a second to think about the people we love, to take that extra effort to like pour into them, I think everyone would love Valentine's Day so much more. And that's why I love it. Like, I've always had friends that have done stuff. My parents have always given us kids like Valentine's Day like treats and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just love like going around with that outlook of just like seeing everybody getting flowers for people. Like, it's just beautiful.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And where I think the downfall then comes is there is an expectation, which having expectations, there's a danger of getting disappointed. There's an expectation of people doing something for you. And when that's not met, you automatically assume that it's because they don't care about you in the same way.
Yeah.
Also, I think that people have started to stop saying it's just the point of like doing something for someone and they're expecting flowers and there better be chocolates and you better take me on a nice date and like all this stuff, when really it should just be an exchange of like, I just want to show you I love you, no matter what that looks like, you know? And my prompts proved it. So the first one,
interesting.
The first one was, what was your best Valentine's Day? And I am not joking. They are all just the most simple things. The most simple things. Like, I went on a road trip. My brother took me to Dairy Queen. My boyfriend made us dinner. I got to see my long distance boyfriend. I ate sushi with my roommate. Like, those are just normal things. But I think we forget sometimes to remind the people in our lives we love them. So it's like just that extra special thing, right? Yeah. There's stuff like my dad brought me chocolate. I bought myself flowers and a Hello Kitty stuffed animal. My friend surprised me with a dress. I got to go to Cracker Barrel. Like, all this stuff is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it really is. It's just like the action of doing something for someone. And then, so then my next question was, what was your worst Valentine's Day experience?
Oh my God.
But it's the same stuff. It's like, I received an I love you teddy bear from someone who never said I love you to me. So it's like an act that confused someone.
Yeah.
There was no power and it was freezing. It's like stuff that would make anyone, right?
Yeah.
He took me to a movie with his parents.
Oh,
so like just,
no.
you know.
That's a hard.
My boyfriend took me to Walmart and had me pick out my own chocolate. Again, right? That's like, okay, like you don't care to get me something, I have to pick it out. But then there's also, so most of them are like, he didn't even get me flowers, he didn't get me chocolate, he didn't make an effort, she didn't make an effort. But then there's a lot of ones that are people dumped on Valentine's Day.
Oh no.
Which is so
That's
weird
cruel.
to me.
That's
because
cruel.
I'm like, you couldn't have done it any day.
Like the day before.
Day before, day after.
Yeah. You couldn't have waited 24 hours. Like you didn't. Wow.
Like that,
I hate that.
That to me seems like such a big statement.
Yeah.
But I think it's, again, because we put so much of this romantic pressure on Valentine's Day that sometimes people who are afraid of commitment are like, I can't do this and freak out. When it should just be a day.
Should be so chill.
Yeah, where we appreciate loving the people in our lives around us no matter what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I've been single for the majority of the Valentine's days that I've been alive for. And I always like bake something, buy a bouquet of flowers, like put them on the counter. And like, I love that.
Yeah.
It's kind of great. And like, I'll give like chocolates to like my sister, Taryne, like some friends and stuff like that. But there's been a couple times where I've gone out on Valentine's Day with girlfriends and that's been fun.
Oh, so fun.
Like I did
love
that
a
last
Galentine.
year and it was so much fun.
So
like
much
there was a
fun.
bunch of us that were single and then some people that just didn't have dates or their dates weren't there. And so like we just all went out and had a fancy dinner
dressed
last
up,
year and it was great.
yeah.
Like we got dressed up and it was so much fun.
I love it.
And honestly, like I've enjoyed Valentine's Day when I've been with my significant other in past relationships, but it was never like huge. I've had way more fun with friends.
Yeah.
In the past.
I would say the same because most of mine have been single. And I think it goes down to the just like being intentional because we don't, like me and Ash were talking about this the other day where we were like, we should like send friends, like randomly send flowers just saying like, I hope you have a great week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we as people, we're so busy, we don't do that enough.
Yeah.
So I think like that's why this day like feels special. I will say I murder Valentine's Day though as a girlfriend. My best one to date was I learned how to make his favorite dish, chicken parmesan. So I cooked chicken parmesan. I made the living room into like a restaurant and I had like candles and like a speaker playing music. So I like made him dinner and then we like danced for a while. And then I took him to this other room where I had made this giant sheet fort with like twinkle lights and everything. And I had like handmade chocolate dipped strawberries. And then we watched like his favorite movie and like it was beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, and then the jacuzzi was full of glow sticks. And then we just like sat in the jacuzzi and like hung out. It was great.
That's a lot.
It was a lot, but that's why like I get so excited because I'm like, it's extra like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Taryne loves to pour into people and that's a great example of that.
To what?
Loves to pour into people.
Pour into people. I don't know why I heard torrents and I was like, I don't know what that means. Taryne loves to torrents. Is that about if that's a bad word, I apologize.
All I hear is bring it on.
Yeah. I asked a poll of who is single and who is taken. Do you want to guess what the percentage is?
I'm gonna go
Who has more, single or taken?
single.
Okay.
60% single?
Ashley, yes.
Yeah? Nice.
How'd you know that? Yeah, it's 60-40.
I had to think about it and I was trying to guess.
60-40. Wow,
I'm a clever
that's
girl.
impressive.
I went to college, you know?
You did go to college. I did too. It took us a long time, but we got there. And then the last thing, where did you meet your significant other? And there's a ton of, you don't need this as much as I do. But most of them, it's like school, church, coworkers. Like, no joke. Like, those are the three main things.
Well,
which
those things like take up your life. If you're in one of them, like
Yes.
they take up your life.
Yes. Tons of dating apps. Apps. Those are like the main ones, and then mutual friends. So like a friend introduced to whoever. But there was this one that blew my mind. This girl's husband called his own phone number, he thought, to check his messages, but their phone numbers were one digit off. So he accidentally called her phone number, and then through just talking, they ended up meeting up and are now married.
Really?
Is that not the coolest thing?
Did she have like the sexiest voice, or
She must have, or she
was
must have just
he
been
just like
super funny, or maybe they were both just super
they must have
bored.
bantered and just been like, "Hey, so what are you doing?
Yeah.
what,
Like,
you,
oh, that's
what
crazy.
you doing tonight?
Where do you live? Like, that's
so
crazy. Yeah.
weird." Interesting.
So love will find you. Just
Love will
dial
find you.
a ton of numbers.
Just
See what happens. See what happens.
dial your number, but with one number off.
Just like
see.
every single.
Shoot your shot. You don't know.
There's so many combinations of numbers.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a little insight on where the people are with Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But I hope you hear this. I hope that it changes your mindset. And I hope you just like take that extra step to just really like receive and give love today. No matter who it's to.
Mm-hmm. Could be
No
a
shame
stranger.
in being single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys already know how obsessed I am with health and fitness and taking care of my body. Something that comes with that is exhaustion when it comes to cooking. I get so tired, and there's days when I'm just lazy and I don't feel like cooking and prepping and cleaning and all of those things. Well, insert today's sponsor, Factor. I am currently obsessed with Factor, guys. It makes it so easy for me to eat clean and healthy with fresh, never frozen, thank God, prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't even believe that they're actually good for you. Each Factor meal arrives pre-prepared and ready to eat in 2 minutes. That's even faster than ordering in. Factor tackles the tough stuff so I don't have to. Their registered dietitians and expert chefs work hand in hand to create meals with nutritious ingredients. They have more than 29 meal options every single week, so there's no way you can get bored. And I love Factor because they know my preferences. They offer vegan, veggie meals, keto meals, low-calorie options, cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, plant-based bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and even more to keep me fueled and focused all day long. Head to go.factor75.com/advice120 and use code advice120 to get $120 off. That's code advice120 at go.factor75.com/advice120 for $120 off. From Wondery, even the rich pulls back the curtain on the lives of the rich and famous and takes a peek at the wild world of celebrity. In an all-new season, they look at the strange and terrifying case of the kidnapping of Patty Hearst. One night, 19-year-old college student Patty Hearst, who happened to be the heir to the Hearst newspaper fortune, was abducted from her apartment. She was kept in a closet for weeks while her captors demanded millions from the Hearst family. Then, in a shocking twist, Patty stunned the world when she walked into San Francisco Bank with a machine gun and robbed it with her captors. She was no longer, quote, Patty. She announced that her name was now Tanya. She would be a fugitive for a year before being arrested. When this cult-like band of criminals kidnapped Patty, she had to survive any way she could, doing things she never thought she would. Was she brainwashed, or was she a victim of Stockholm Syndrome? Even the Rich explores what was going on in the mind of Patty Hearst on her unpredictable journey from kidnapping victim to armed criminal. You guys already know I'm absolutely obsessed with true crime, and I think the Hearst family is fascinating. There is so much history there, and I am completely obsessed with this show. Follow Even the Rich on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. Okay, we're going to go ahead and dive into a Tearing It Up, which you guys already know is the funniest part of our episodes. This is when you guys send in funny stories, and this one is funny. It's pretty funny. This one is titled, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not going to say the title. I don't want to give it away. Okay. Hi, Taryne and Ash. My name is Rachel, and you can totally use my name. First off, I want to say how thankful I am for this podcast after all of my best friends moved to different cities. It's been so comforting to have you guys to listen to when I come home from work. Aww. And I miss my friends. So you guys are both so encouraging, down to earth, and yes, funny. Smiley face.
Thanks.
Second, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if not, I'm sure this story will lighten your spirits.
My spirits.
Let's set the scene. The year is 2014 and I am a junior in high school. My family is on a trip to Germany to visit my aunt and uncle. We are on a connecting flight from London to Berlin and your girl has got to pee.
Uh-oh.
It's a long flight.
What seat are you in?
You see, the gate for our flight changed at the last minute and we had to sprint across the airport to make it to our plane in time. So there was no time to go to the bathroom before boarding the plane. We finally make it to the plane just in time before closing the doors and heading down the runway. I figure I can hold it for a little bit longer until we reach cruising altitude, and then I'll be able to get up and go to the bathroom. I'm sitting at the window seat, so I'm hoping the person next to me speaks some English so I can ask to move past them so that I can go to the bathroom. We finally reach cruising altitude, and by this time, I am in physical pain.
Ouch.
My bladder feels like it's about to burst, and I know I cannot wait much longer. However, the person sitting next to me fell asleep, so I knew I had to wake them up. I whisper quietly and ask if I can squeeze past them, but they don't stir at all. I tried another time saying it a bit louder, but still nothing. The flight attendants start coming down the aisle to offer refreshments, so I thought maybe the woman next to me would wake up to get a snack. But this was not the case. When the flight attendant came to our row and asked for my drink order, my neighbor was still fast asleep. I explained my predicament to the flight attendant and asked if she could help me. We tried poking and prodding this woman, and she still did not stir. Then the flight attendant offered an obscure solution. What if I climbed over this woman and into the aisle? At this point, I was desperate and decided to do it. She adds, keep in mind, the refreshment service had been held up because of me, so people behind me on the plane were looking at us, trying to figure out what was going on. All eyes on her kind of situation.
Yeah.
Which is just how it is in planes. Like, people are bored. They see any kind of commotion, they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
The flight attendant put her hands out, and I held on to her as I tried to climb over the sleeping woman. Just as I had one leg over and was about to lift over my other leg, I slipped. And I fell right onto my neighbor. Yes, that's right. I was completely straddling
oh my God.
this sleeping woman. As soon as I land on her lap, the woman's eyes jolted open and she screamed. I about peed my pants as I leapt off her and ran full speed toward the bathroom. By the time I peed and came back to my senses, I realized how incredibly embarrassing that was and that almost the entire plane had just seen what had happened. I stayed in the bathroom for a solid 15 minutes before I worked up the courage to go back to my seat. As I walked to my seat, I could see people from the rows behind me dying from laughter. When I got back, the woman was gone, and I didn't see her for the rest of the flight.
Where'd she go?
She probably asked for a different seat.
I get it.
Like, if there was availability, she was probably like, can you just move me somewhere else?
I get it.
She adds, I was so incredibly embarrassed for months after, but now I look back on the experience, and I just cannot help but laugh. I hope this made you laugh too. XOXO, Rachel. P.S. I live in Santa Barbara, so if you guys ever are in town, hit me up and I'll buy you guys tacos.
That is like the best thing you could say to us.
I love Santa Barbara. Beach
Same.
town, say less. Second of all, I could eat tacos breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So,
breakfast tacos, though?
Oh.
So good.
Get out of here.
Straight fire.
So good. So can't wait for our daco date.
Was it daco?
Taco date.
A daco date. Wait.
No.
Anyways. Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one. The whole time you're reading the story, I was like, she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how traumatic that was.
Yeah,
like,
oof,
the person next to me died on the plane.
Oof. That would be a very interesting tearing it up.
Yeah. I feel like that's full blown something that would happen to me.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, you would hope like the flight attendant was like, hey, like we've been trying to wake you up. Like I encouraged her.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if I was the woman and I knew that I like knock out like that and I don't wake up, I mean, I would probably try to go out of my way to not be in the aisle seat.
Yeah.
It's like sitting at the end of like a movie theater. Like you're gonna get up multiple times throughout the movie, you know?
I wonder if she because so many people take sleeping pills.
Yeah,
to knock
probably.
out people who have like a hard time flying. So maybe she was just like comatose.
Yeah, maybe she hates flying and she had a fear of flying, so she took a pill and had her little vodka soda.
Dude,
knocked out
that's not an easy position to get out of too when you're like on someone's
top
back.
of someone. Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
That was great.
Yeah,
That's a great
that was
tearing
really
it up.
good.
Great. All right, we will jump into our first story. This one is called "You Can't Talk Marriage and Kids with Someone and Then Leave Them on a Random Wednesday." I love that.
Wednesday.
It's funny because I was like, most of the stuff that comes in is like situations that are like not the best, right? That's why people are wanting advice. So it's like, I was like looking through emails and I'm like, I want like a cute relationship one, but there's not. Because like, if you think about it, that'd be people just writing in being like, I met the love of my life. We're so happy.
Yeah.
The end. But so we do love, but love doesn't always love us back. So we're going to talk about it.
Sometimes it's one-sided.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Hi, ladies. I'll start by saying I love the podcast and listen every week. You girls make working my weekly graveyard shift a lot more bearable and enjoyable. Also, girl, please just read through the typos because because I'm dyslexic and writing this at 6 a.m. post graveyard shift and your girl is tired.
Oh, honey.
I feel that. Now let's get into it. Also, spoiler alert, a man can in fact talk about spending the rest of his life with you and having kids with you, then just up and leave on a random Wednesday.
Oh my God.
I mean, we figured.
The audacity.
We figured by your thing. My boyfriend ended things with me back in July, and now that it's been over 6 months, I've come to terms with the fact that we definitely weren't meant to be. Actually, I've taken off my rose-colored glasses and have realized I was treated like crap for too much of the relationship. Everything started off fantastic, as it always does, but as time went on, he did a complete 180, and I soon realized the man I fell in love with wasn't who I was with. Well, that might be a little overdramatic, but there was a lot of up and down. He wasn't very good at communicating his feelings, which would leave me wondering what I did wrong. He would go quiet for days on end. It got to the point where he wouldn't even talk for days, let alone see each other, because we didn't live together. And of course, my favorite memory being the time he totally dismissed me while I was at work and made me feel so belittled that when he left, I cried. I'm assuming they worked together.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah. An older lady I worked with at the time, who everyone called their work mom, ended up pulling me into her office and giving me a big hug. On top of that, I ended up getting diagnosed with some sexual health issues during our relationship, which only made things worse. Now things both outside and inside the bedroom have become stressful, so I'm glad he ended it, even if I wasn't ready at the time. However, I still find myself not being quote unquote ready in many aspects in life, but the main one being not ready to move on. I know I have to because no matter how many sweet moments and good memories we had, he did things I know I can't forgive, no matter how much I want to some days. I just can't help but wonder how a man can go from I want you and only you for the rest of my life to I can't even be bothered to talk to you or see you in less than a month, and how everything could fall apart so fast. On top of that, yes, there's more. My best friend was moving to a different country and I was being trained for new tasks at a job for a company I didn't even want to be working for anymore while trying to get my own apartment. Needless to say, I was a little stressed. So now we're here, present day, and I'm pouring out all my feelings to two girls I don't know but dearly love. Any advice for a girl who is having trouble getting over a breakup and is holding herself back from applying for jobs because she has social anxiety and is just sticking with the job she now has because it feels safe? Mm-hmm. Long story short, I just need advice on my glow up so I can get my own place, find a job I love, and dip my toe back into the dating pool again. I feel stuck in life, but look forward to hearing from you both on the podcast. Love you guys. And as someone said in a previous podcast episode, the world needs more Ashleys and Taryns.
Well,
I love you too.
I have a homework assignment for you.
Yes.
Anonymous. Wait, did she give her name?
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Right.
Okay. Watch Yes Man.
Ooh, okay.
It's an older movie.
I love that movie. Jim
It's a
Carrey.
Jim Carrey movie.
Zooey Deschanel.
So you know you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And it's also like, I think the place you need to be at right now. I think right now you need to start saying yes to things, even if it makes you like slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Social anxiety, totally get it. Totally get it. However, if you want to like step into that glow up, you got to do it. You just got to take that step and force yourself to go do it. Here's the thing that I like taught myself, and I had a moment where I like realized this. You can get ready to go out for 30 minutes and come back home.
Yeah.
No one says you have to stay out till 2 a.m. Okay. Like you don't have to go hard. Go out with a random group of strangers, go have dinner by yourself, go get yourself a drink and like bring a book or something. And then like retreat back home if it doesn't work out that day. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go out, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't put yourself in situations where you can meet other people, make new friends, possibly network, possibly find yourself another job opportunity. All of these things that you want, whether it's dating or it's career or it's self-love or just growth, like it's not going to happen at home by yourself.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself out of the house and challenge yourself by putting yourself in possibilities are endless if you put yourself in the position to receive them, you know?
Fully.
So, wow, I feel like I said that really
You did say
well.
that very well.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So, I think, watch Yes Man.
Yes.
And then just pick a day out of the week that you're going to do something. And it can be something simple like reading a book outside in the park, very chill. You don't have to interact with people, but you're out
and about.
and that's the first step to like going out and possibly like making friends.
Yeah.
You know?
I fully agree. And I think that I feel like you're aware of your stuckness because it's like, I don't want to get a new job, but I'm not happy where I'm at. Friends are moving away, but I'm still here. So I think a change is needed, but I think you've got to find the motivation for yourself to want something new. And I think like moving on from relationships is hard. And I feel like movies and even just other people, we do a disservice to it because I feel like it's very popular to just be like, oh my God, yeah, girl, move on. Like, F him, he's the worst. Like, yeah, when my ex dumped me, I was like, bye. And I met someone the next week. Like, I think it's popular to show the like, oh yeah, we overcame it. This is what you have to look forward to, part of breakups. But no one really talks about the like, yeah, no, I laid in bed for 4 days and didn't shower and my roommates had to literally come in and peel me off of my bed because I was so depressed. Like no one talks about that. And I think that it's okay for people to have a different process for it. And I think for me, like what I always tell people is I'm like, don't shy away from like the scary feelings. Like let yourself be sad, let yourself like mourn it, let yourself also remember the really good times and try to like look at those in ways you can appreciate.
Right.
Because I tried to do the opposite of just like, he's terrible, like he was so toxic, he was this, he was that, which yeah, maybe those things are true, but also it just ties so much like anger to a situation when there were some really beautiful times I had with him too, you know?
Yeah. I don't remember how long she said it's been since the breakup.
6 months, that was my like, I just started poking my head out.
Okay. Yeah.
It took me 6 months.
Definitely take your time in mourning the loss of that relationship. But I do think that's around that time where go to the park. You don't have to go interact at a singles community, like intentionally looking for dating, but go be out and about and just surround yourself with people. You don't have to talk or do anything, but I feel like that's the perfect time to start getting out of the house and surrounding yourself with sunlight and people and new situations. Yeah. 6 months is a good time.
But even like the poll showed like everybody like met their person in getting involved with whether it's an area like church or work or school or whatever, or, like start hitting up your friends and being like, hey, like, oh my God, it doesn't have to be this big, deep thing where you're like, I'm lonely, I need friends. Like, just be like, hey, like, oh my God, I've been such a hermit and I'm so bored. Like next time you guys go out, like would love to like tag along. Dating apps are great for like just getting up your confidence again and just starting to talk to people from a safe distance. So I think there's lots of things you can do, but I think like the overall theme of your email is it's taking that step. And I think you're looking forward to, because you said your glow up. So you're looking forward to like the change that's going to come. But if we don't take steps in our life, we won't find the success that comes with taking that step. And yeah, it might be a bad step. Like you might fall on your face, but you get back up. Like that's why us as humans are so powerful, is like we're all faced with adversity. We're all faced with heartbreak and trauma, but we get back up. And every day is a new choice we can make of like what we're going to let that past hurt do.
Yeah.
So I think you just need to like take it all. Don't compartmentalize, like take it all and use it as momentum to push you forward. But you have to take that step.
Yeah. My dad is one of the sweetest humans on the planet, but he has struggled his entire life making friendships and keeping friendships. And if you asked him 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if he thought he was going to be in a cycling group at church, he would have laughed at you and been like, that's not my vibe. That's not my people. Like, that's not going to work for me. He randomly came across a group of people through his church that cycle. And my dad is gone 3 days out of the week with this random group of people that he forced himself to go uncomfortably to. Because my dad is the most like quiet, shy, reserved, kind of socially awkward guy. And he knows that this is not gossip. I would tell him if he was here.
He knows,
and he's just that kind of guy. But he knew he needed friends, and he forced himself to go to this random all men cycling group at his church. And he has like best friends now, and they cycle every single day. And it's such a weird thing, but like it works for him.
But like that to me is brilliant, because that to me is someone who says, okay, I'm going to assess my skills and my strengths.
Yeah.
I'm not good at talking with people.
Yeah.
I'm not good at like starting conversations and forming whatever.
Yeah.
But I could ride a bike.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally,
So, like,
he was
go
like
ride
the
a
most
bike with
logical
people.
person.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that was his thought process. He's
And,
like,
like,
oh, I don't have to talk?
No,
Cool.
you don't talk a lot,
Yeah.
but you have water breaks. You have a common
Little
sense
casual
of like,
chit-chat.
yeah, like
some
we're all
shallow
riding
conversation.
bikes.
Like, oh, what a nice day today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Find
fully
whatever
agree.
your thing is, fully lean into it. And I bet there's a group somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And
It just takes time to like research. And,
yeah, I think you'll find it. You just gotta say, yes, man.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah. But you got this, Anonymous. Just take that step. If
you do, girl.
honestly, you just needed us to push you, and we're pushing you. Do it. Apply for the job.
You knew what we were gonna
Go
say.
on a date. Just try to make eye contact with a male.
Dress up and take yourself out to dinner.
Yeah.
I had a meal by myself the other day. I think I talked about it on the podcast, and the other day, it was last month. And it was hard, but it was actually kind of really fun and rewarding, and I think you'd like it.
Yeah. You got this.
Today's episode of Unsolicited Advice is brought to you by Simply Safe Home Security. Have you guys ever wanted to know what's happening at your home when you're not there? I don't know about you, but I do. I check my cameras all the time, and that is why I'm a big fan of the new wireless outdoor camera from Simply Safe. It lets you see what's happening outside right from your phone and alerts you when someone approaches, so you always know who's around your house. It's great too, like when you're home and you hear a noise and you want to just check the cameras real fast to see like what's going on outside to make sure there's no reason for alarm. That's, my favorite pastime. Simply Safe has everything you need to keep your home safe, from entry and motion sensors to indoor and outdoor cameras. Simply Safe is monitored 24/7 by professionals ready to dispatch police, firefighters, or EMTs to your home. And Simply Safe is less than $1 a day, and you can set it up in around 30 minutes. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/advice. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off your interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/advice.
If there's one thing I'm obsessed with, it is my teeth. I love my smile. I love pouring into my smile, making sure I have a nice, white, bright, clean smile. But something that I struggle with is finding products that are actually good for my teeth. And that is where Lumino comes in. We are so excited to be sponsored by them again for this podcast. If you don't already know, Lumino makes toothpaste, mouthwash, and whitening products that actually help your oral health instead of hurting it. They use purposeful and uncompromising ingredients like sea salt, aloe, and coconut oils to clean and brighten your smile. Plus, everything they make is certified non-toxic, which we love. I already mentioned this, but as you guys know, I'm obsessed with whitening my teeth, and Lumino whitening strips are super effective and perfect for sensitive teeth, which I have. It only takes 30 minutes to apply, and you'll see results within 7 days, making for an incredible before and after picture. You guys already know this, but I take my health very seriously, and something that I've been working on is taking my oral health very seriously as well. I love using Lumino because it makes me feel like I'm prioritizing that in my life, and it makes me feel like I'm a little more put together.
I love how my smile feels and looks, and I know you'll love Lumino as much as we do.
Get 15% off your order today by going to getlumino.com/advice and use code ADVICE. That's GETLUMINEUX.com/advice, code ADVICE to save 15%. Getlumino.com/advice.
So most of us only think about how to get a job, but there are some of us who know how hard it is to hire a quality person that meets all of your needs. And if you are looking to hire people, you guys need to get on Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Indeed is the only job site where you are guaranteed to find quality applicants that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay, which is honestly my favorite part, because they have that confidence to be like, if it doesn't work, then you don't have to pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with all the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must-have requirements. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/advice. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/advice to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/advice. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Okay, moving on to my story. This one is about falling in love with falling in love again. Okay, let's dive into it. She writes, my name is Olivia. I'm 22 from Philadelphia. A little bit about me is that I graduated from college in May, and this past August, I started grad school. Basically, I'm exhausted. LOL. Yeah, sounds like it. I love the pod and I am a huge fan. I love your energy so much. You're like the older sisters that I've never had but always wanted. I love. She writes, I need some advice. So back in high school / beginning of college, I was in a 3-year relationship, and it was extremely toxic and very emotionally / mentally abusive. When I got out of my relationship, I knew that dating and boys would be the absolute last thing on my mind. I wanted to focus on school, myself, figure out who I am, and heal. Well, years have passed, and I recently have gotten into therapy, so I'm definitely making the personal progress that I need. For the first time in years, I feel like I am maybe open to the idea of casually dating.
Cool.
Between my old relationship and now, I've had a few one-night stands and an FWB, which friends with benefits, people, but never anything too serious. I think I really liked those situations because I didn't have to be emotionally attached or let them actually get to know me. Clever. Now, I'm starting to feel open to dating, talking, love, etc. But those things keep on stopping me. I don't know why, but when a guy and I meet and we hit it off, I just can't allow myself to admit what I might have felt. I can't bring myself past the flirty conversations. On New Year's, I met a guy and we hit it off so well, to the point where my friends who know my whole past were all so excited for me and even asked about the guy. I just blew it off though. I don't know what it is, but I'm so scared to fall in love again, to have my feelings hurt again, to be vulnerable again. I'm terrified. I know dating should be casual and fun, and I envy my friends that can do it, but something inside me is so scared to just fall in love, or at least in that way again. I'm so scared to get hurt, so instead I'm guarded and I push them away. And when I finally admit that I might just like a guy, then I don't even know how to act or what to do because I had stopped myself for so long. It doesn't help that I get mad at myself every time I do this also. The moral of the story is, how can I finally feel okay to fall in love again? How can I stop sabotaging myself by letting my past stop me from whatever my future will hold? SOS.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a common thing. It's like the next. I think that's why probably the whole like rebound thing came into play.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Of like, oh, you don't want to be the rebound because you're just the guy like before she meets the guy that she married, like whatever. Yeah. But I don't think it's necessarily that people go looking for that. I think that they literally just stumble into the next thing and they're awkward. They don't know what they want. Their walls are up. They're like, I'm not willing to give too much or whatever the case may be. And they get freaked out, and then it usually is like scary and like turns to something like just falls apart.
Yeah.
Because it's so scary. Like it's so scary to like put yourself back out there. So I definitely feel for people in that state. I remember being in that. Now it's more like I've been single for so long that it's like I wonder what it'll be like to be in a relationship. But I remember so like vividly that like coming out and being like, how do I do this? Like, what do? I don't know what I want. Like, I don't know how to let someone in. I don't know how to open myself up. Like, it's crazy.
I think something that's interesting is I don't think it matters how long your relationship lasted, how long you've been single since that relationship. I think deciding that you want to start dating again is a very vulnerable place to be in. And that takes a lot of growth and acceptance, and it's going to feel awkward, and you're not going to know what you're doing. Whether you've been single for a year or 10, you haven't been in that situation in a minute, and it's just like riding a bike. Like you haven't ridden a bike in 5 years, like you'll get it. It's just going to be awkward the first time. Like it's going to be wobbly. Yeah. And you might, have to like drop your feet down for a second to stabilize yourself before you try again.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that you have to put yourself through in order to get comfortable again. Like even in a different situation, but kind of similar, like I didn't date all of COVID. And I remember coming out of the intense part of lockdown and being like, I need to date. Like I want to date. Like I want to be dating someone. And I went on a first date and I was like, what do we talk about? Yeah. I was like, oh my God, what do I wear? Yeah. And like, I remember like him coming and giving me a hug and I was like, are
we allowed to hug?
It's COVID. Like, what do we do? Like there were so many things that just simply not dating for a year, like it added a lot of really weird layers to dating. And I didn't know how to do it. But I like had to force myself to go on these awkward dates. And guess what? They were all awkward. Like we didn't know what to talk about but the pandemic, how's work? Great. Just working from home and blah, blah, blah. You know, like it was awkward conversation, but you had to kind of wobble it out. Yeah. And kind of like stop your feet a couple of seconds, catch your breath, and then like dive back in. Yeah. And my analogy.
I'm just dying to it. Like you being like, oh my God, I didn't date all COVID. And I was like, she did. She came out like,
I was like, I'm ready.
A bat out of hell. She was like, I'm dating. She literally came in and was like, I have to date. And she was on her dating apps like all the time. Like, no, like I'm determined.
I was like, I'm going out. And it
you
wasn't
felt
even
awkward after a year.
Yeah.
Which is why people like me who wait like 9 are like, what is happening? So there is a danger of waiting too long if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I will say.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't fully intending on like trying to find my husband. I was just trying to like go out and date and be social again. Yeah. Like I wanted to like eventually find a boyfriend, but like I was just trying to like get out again and get comfortable around guys again. Like I'd been in a house with only girls for the last like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this.
Yeah, she did.
She did. Need this. And I think through those awkward dates, like I got better at dating. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what you can do. I don't think you need to go out with the full intention of, I need to find my husband tonight. And if he's not my husband, then I'm not going to take it seriously. I think just go. And if you vibe with him, say yes to a date.
Yeah.
And if that date goes well and he wants to go out again, maybe say yes to that date too. But we don't need to overwhelm ourselves or freak ourselves out by thinking 6 months in advance or a year in advance. Like, let's just calm down and focus one day at a time and see how we do. And if it's not a vibe, peace.
I think it's the same thing as like what we were saying about like your dad joining cycling. Like, you just have to come to terms with like where you're at, like, and what you want. Like for me, I have no doubt, like you could throw me into a date and I'll be fine because I'm a social person. I love connecting with people. So I don't feel the need to push myself because I'm not worried about that.
Right.
But I also am more picky about like what I'm looking for and like not wanting to waste my time. So for me, I don't mind going like long times without dating. But like for someone like was it anonymous or did she give a name?
Olivia.
Sorry, Olivia. Like you're starting to feel like you're retracting so much to where you're not letting anybody come in.
In fact, she says she's pushing them away.
Yeah, you're pushing people away. You're creating walls. That to me, like, is another, like we were saying with your dad, like we're sitting back, we're looking at the situation, we're looking at like the facts of what we see. And to me, that is something that if you're struggling with that, I would say, no, you need to like try to form those connections and see like how easy it can be. And also, like, it's okay to have a wall up to an extent, right? Like, like Ash was saying, like, she wasn't going into everything like, oh, you're my husband, which is why she was a little more guarded with, like,
that was a wall.
What she's willing to give. So I think that walls are okay, but it just depends how high and how intense you're building them. And, like, what are you putting on which side of the wall?
Right. Like, if you're dating, then you are essentially looking for a relationship. So the wall can't be too high to where you don't allow yourself to actually get to know the person or them to get to know you. But you should be guarded.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I think you just have to find your balance. But I definitely think you need to find a way to just be able to connect with a person. And I think it's scary when you get out of a relationship if you had a connection and it went away. Like to feel like, oh my gosh, if I connect with someone, like, it's going to be too hard and it's going to be whatever. But there's different levels of connection. Like I'm the type of person, I connect with everyone I meet, like, which sometimes can be hard for me because like I'll think a relationship is more in depth than it is, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's just like sitting back and looking at where you're at. I think right now you need to come to a fluid relationship with just having relationships in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to mean you're going to get married. It doesn't have to mean it's going to be this like big epic heartbreak, but you have to learn how to connect with people and make sure you're not continuing to go in the other direction.
Yeah, I completely agree because in the end, you pushing them away, it's really only hurting you, no one else. And we want you happy. You want you happy. And ultimately what I'm getting from this email is that you want that relationship. You are just too terrified to allow yourself to be open for people to get to know you in that way. So I don't know. Keep your guards up, tear that wall down. And I don't know, if you keep putting yourself, it's funny how similar these stories were. If you keep putting yourself in these situations where you are meeting people, it's going to happen. You just have to continue to do it and not like beat them away with a baseball bat when they come over.
And also like maybe like within yourself, you're telling yourself you're not ready to be in a relationship right now. So then like own that. Like I remember when I was like, I don't want to date. And I was intentional about that. And I spent my time and effort on friendships and traveling and doing all this stuff. But there's no shame. I think society ties shame to singleness, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if that is the choice you're making, then be intentional about it. Or if like you're like Ash and you're like, no, I want to date, then like put the effort into it. Yeah. I think it's just sitting back and being like, what do I want? And why do I have so much tied to like freaking out if a guy gets to know me? Is it because I need to reflect and work on some stuff going on with me? Or is it like I need to push through and like really work on finding connection and like not being so scared of that, you know?
I completely agree. I feel like Taryne opened up a whole other part about where we could go with this. If this is something you feel like society is like pushing on you to like be dating, that is not a requirement whatsoever. I think I went a good 3 or 4 years where I didn't want to date because I was like, I'm going to work and I'm going to build. I wanted to make money and I wanted to save and I wanted to travel. And where's the relationship going to fit in that, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly being like, well, if I like happen to come across someone, then I would give it a shot. But like, I wasn't actively trying to date at all because I was fully focused on like boss girl mode and traveling. Yeah. Like those were my priorities. And that's totally okay for a relationship to not be your number one priority. Yeah. And if it's not right now, that's totally fine. You can put it on the back burner. I would say, I think the way I said it earlier is important. Like be open to it if it comes across your way, but you don't have to be actively searching every single day if that's just not where you're at right now.
Yeah. Everyone just needs to like take a second. Mm-hmm. I think you need to feel in your life, in your heart. Close your eyes, not if you're driving, and just say, what am I feeling pressure in? Mm-hmm. Am I feeling a pressure to date? Okay, let me acknowledge that. Why do I feel a pressure to date? Is it because I really want to be with someone, or because, oh my gosh, my family keeps making comments, or I'm getting older and I want to have kids? Like, what is the pressure coming from? And then navigate through that. But I think like you really just got to like sit with yourself and figure out what you want. But I think just in hearing your email, I think you need to realize that connections are such valuable things, even if they only last a week. So don't fight off your connections. See what they have to offer. Like every person you interact with in your life, it impacts you in some way. Mm-hmm. So like take what you can from people, give what you can to people, and then see what happens. It's not, don't put that pressure on finding connection. Yeah. Like just like take a step.
Take your time.
Everybody, take a step.
Take a breath and take a step.
Take a step.
Get on your bike and say, yes, man.
Yes, man. On your bike. Wobble with it.
Wobble with it.
Till you know.
Till the training wheels come off. And that's the end of our analogy.
So bad. So bad. You love the cheese. You are a cheesy person.
I am a cheesy person.
You're a cheesy person who hates the cheese.
No, and I love the cheese. I think you go full cheese sometimes.
Because I appreciate the comedy that can come with the full cheese.
I love the full cheese. If you wore rose-colored glasses, I wouldn't have stopped you. Or heart glasses?
Heart glasses. I know you wouldn't have, because no one can control me.
You can't tell me what to do.
You can't tell me what to do.
Anyways, let's wrap it up.
I'm going to end with some Valentine's pickup line.
Of course. Oh my God. Guys, take notes.
Take notes.
If you're listening to this actually on Valentine's Day, I dare you. I double dog dare you to use one of these pickup lines.
I am that girl that like, you know, like guys say pickup lines and girls are like, ew, who does that actually work on? Me. Me.
So our 10% male audience, if you're listening to this and Taryne's your type,
I'm everyone's
slide in with one of these.
Who am I not your type?
It's a guaranteed win.
What do you have to complain about? The total package. Okay. Is your name Wi-Fi? Because I'm feeling a connection.
Oh, that is so good. So here's the thing with the cheesy pickup lines.
Yeah.
Will it get a date out of me? I don't know.
Yes.
Will it get my attention, and would I let you buy me a drink? Yes.
Yes.
So this is a win. It's a win.
Yes.
It'll work.
You know what? You know what ones I don't like are the dirty ones.
Yeah.
I don't like the dirty ones.
Yeah.
Those ones I'm like, okay. Like that's just like I'm not a fan of that.
That's gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Okay. Do you have a library card? Because I've been checking you out. I don't know why I deliver them in this like
checking you out. It's so swaggy.
I am swaggy.
Taryne, maybe you should use one of these on a guy.
maybe I'll like hop on the dating apps and
Maybe
be
you
like,
should flip and you should try
Yeah.
these on the guys. I bet I bet that would work.
I will.
Especially with the way you delivered that.
You know, maybe I need to resurrect. Remember my old video where it was pickup line challenge? Maybe I need to do another one because that was so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. We love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around. Make sure you follow us on everything and interact with us and all the peeps.
Yeah.
And
if you made it to the dad joke, we love you the mostest.
The mostest.
Send us a story if you're sitting on one, and we'll talk to you
take
soon.
time to just tell people you love them.
And say
Yes, man.
Okay,
That's all. Bye.
From Wondery, Even the Rich pulls back the curtain on the lives of the rich and famous and takes a peek at the wild world of celebrity. In an all-new season, they look at the strange and terrifying case of the kidnapping of Patty Hearst. One night, 19-year-old college student Patty Hearst, who happened to be the heir to the Hearst newspaper fortune, was abducted from her apartment. She was kept in a closet for weeks while her captors demanded millions from the Hearst family. Then, in a shocking twist, Patty stunned the world when she walked into San Francisco Bank with a machine gun and robbed it with her captors. She was no longer, quote, Patty. She announced that her name was now Tanya. She would be a fugitive for a year before being arrested. When this cult-like band of criminals kidnapped Patty, she had to survive any way she could, doing things she never thought she would. Was she brainwashed, or was she a victim of Stockholm Syndrome? Even the Rich explores what was going on in the mind of Patty Hearst on her unpredictable journey from kidnapping victim to armed criminal. You guys already know I'm absolutely obsessed with true crime, and I think the Hearst family is fascinating. There is so much history there, and I am completely obsessed with this show. Follow Even the Rich on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. Today's episode is sponsored by Lumino. I love my smile, but what I don't love is all the toxic ingredients that most dental care products have. They're not good for my health or my teeth. I want the best for my oral health. Products made with natural ingredients that help my smile, not harm it. That's why I love Lumino. Lumino makes toothpaste, mouthwash, and whitening products that actually help your oral health instead of hurting it. I personally love Lumino because you won't find things like harsh bleaches, artificial dyes, or alcohol of any kind in Lumino's products. Everything they make is dentist formulated, backed by over 50 studies, and proven to protect the good bacteria in your smile, also known as the microbiome. I'm obsessed with whitening my teeth, and Lumino whitening strips are super effective and perfect for sensitive teeth, which I have. It only takes 30 minutes to apply, and you'll see results in 7 days, which is incredible, making for the perfect before and after pics.
I love how my smile feels and looks, and I know you'll love Lumino as much as we do.
Get 15% off your order today by going to getlumino.com/advice and use code ADVICE. That's GETLUMINEUX.com/advice, code ADVICE to save 15%. Getlumino.com/advice.